and welcome to this live stream. It is Tuesday, and Tuesday is the day that I go live at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time or Eastern Standard Time, depending on the time of year, with an edition of Let's Talk Business Growth Live. And this is a live mini training that happens here in this Facebook group. For now, it may be expanding into other platforms soon, but I go live here each week to share with you what it takes to take your business to 10K months and six-figure years. So I'm sharing with you in these series things around productivity, around marketing, around mindset, around sales, around visibility, around showing up as an authority and as a leader, around various tips and tools of the trade. Sometimes I may bring an expert in to share with you to, deepen the learning experience even more. And this is the place to be every Tuesday for you if you want to get on track to your 5-figure months and six-figure years. So comment below six figures, comment below with the word six figures. If you are stepping into that era where you're seriously calling in 10K months, right? Your 5-figure months consistently, which will get you on track to six figures each year in your business. I'm Stephanie Treasure, your host. I know there's a few new faces around here that have come into this space in the last few weeks. So let me just quickly introduce myself. I'm Stephanie Treasure, marketing strategist and business coach. And I've been working for just under 20 years with coaches and consultants just like you who are looking to get more visible, expand their reach so that they can reach more of their people and create create and implement the marketing strategies, the sales, the visibility strategies that will support you to call in that next level revenue in your business. Many of the clients that I work with are aiming for 10K months in their business. They're right there. They're comfortably at around 40K to 50K per year, but they haven't gotten to six figures just yet. I support you to get to that milestone, and I show you how to set things up so that you can do that consistently and realize that launch pad of a six-figure year that will get you beyond into multiple six figures and seven figures in your business. So I love the work that I do. I love working with my coaches and consultants, and stick around, stay tuned, plug into this space for more trainings like this, for various experiences that I bring about to support you, including sometimes multi-expert events, as well as share with you when I open the doors to my 6-month academy, as well as my mastermind, and whenever I have spots for my one-on-one coaching. And from time to time, I do offer free breakthrough sessions, which are usually very powerful, very insightful, where I show you how to map out your next level of income, what it's going to take. I share with you step by step what it's going to take to accomplish your 10K month in your business, and how I work with you, with my team, to support you to be able to repeat that, make it consistent so that you're tracking to six figures before, quicker than you probably have already been on track with by yourself. So comment below six figures if this is the journey that you're on right now, and you really want to plug into what I'm going to be sharing with you here today. So what I want to share with you today is the one thing that gets in the way of coaches who should already be at six figures. The one thing that gets in the way of coaches that should already be at six figures. And I want you to plug in and listen into this. I've worked with many clients, have had many conversations with many of you here in this community. And I'm not calling any names today, or although I am going to share some client success stories, I won't necessarily call their names. And I certainly will be calling the names of the people who have asked me questions like this, or who I've guided and shared with them their own 10K roadmap in terms of what they need to do right now to get them on track to 10K months in their businesses. So I'm going to be sharing with you what it takes. And I really want you to plug in, because this is from my years of experience with working with coaches just like you. And I have to say, even from my own journey, this was a trap for me as well. And as soon as I identified it and dealt with it, I was able to overcome it and move on and take my business to where it is today. So I want for you to learn from what I'm going to be sharing, which again comes from my experience as well as my clients' experiences, so that you can, sidestep this pitfall so that you can sidestep this landmine. Or if as I go along, you're already in the quagmire of this, you know what to do to move yourself out of this and to move yourself more towards your goal, which is 6 figures. So if you are watching this and many of my clients, like I said, are at between 30 and 50K per year in their businesses. So you're doing something right, you're doing well, you are working with clients and they're getting great results, you are doing your marketing, you're showing up somewhat. And on paper, based on what you're doing and how you're showing up and the community that you're growing and the programs that you offer and the results that people get from these programs that you offer, the people that you're connected with in your industry, you should be at 6 figures already, but on paper, you're not. Okay, when we look at the balance sheet, and excuse me, I didn't even check my audio. Let me just do that really quick. Okay, great. I can hear myself. All right, so you should be hearing, you should be seeing me. And let me do one more thing. I announced this via email as well as in the Facebook group here, but some people may have trouble finding me. So if you're watching this on the replay, it's because I did this very thing, which is to tag you. All right. So I've tagged everyone here so that you know where to find me. I see that there's somebody here or some people here. Comment below 6 figures if that's you. I'd love to hear from you and hear that you're here and that you're plugged into what I'm sharing here. And if you're on the replay and you haven't hit hashtag replay yet, go ahead and do that. If you haven't already commented 6 figures, please do, because that's what we're working towards. And this is what's going to get you to multiple 6 and 7 figures. You have to, go through this journey. That's how it works, right? Okay. Hi, Andrea, hearing and seeing. Okay, perfect. So let me get back on track. Let me open this other window. So many of you, like I said, you have programs that based on the pricing of that program, you just need a few clients to be at consistent 10K months in your business. Just a few clients, like usually less than 10 clients is what will get you at 10K months, right? And if you think of the work that you're doing and how you're supporting your clients, this is something that you can very well fit on your calendar, at least right now, based on the stage and phase that you are in your business. But for some reason, you're not there. For some reason, your launches are not bringing in the numbers that you'd like them to bring in. For some reason, your one-on-one coaching spots, they're not filled. For some reason, you can't seem to get to that next level. You can't seem to break through that 5-figure milestone in terms of hitting it at least once. Or if you hit it once, you somehow can't seem to maintain it. Okay. So what I want to share with you today, without further ado or suspense, because I really want to get into the meat of this, is that one of the things, or the one thing that I find is getting in the way of many coaches who should already be at 6 figures is failure to delegate, outsource, and bring on team members. Failure to delegate, outsource, and bring on team members. Okay. So this may sound familiar. This may actually feel like a sting. Okay, if this is something that you kind of know is there, you know that is something you should be paying attention to. And yeah, you can, safely admit, you can truthfully admit that you've been doing a lot by yourself. You've been doing a lot on your own. You most likely have had a VA on a project basis whenever you're doing something that is you feel is going to need more help. You may have brought on a VA to help you with that project, then you offboarded them, or you may have brought on a VA in the past, and then after they left, you figured, I've gotten that expense off the balance sheet of the P&L. Let me just do things by myself until I get to this next milestone. Then I'll bring another VA on board. And that time just seems to expand, that period, that phase where you were supposed to quickly, kind of regroup, in terms of the expenses and then bring in another VA. somehow it, 1 month turned into 3, turned into 6, turned into a year or more. Okay. So if you've been there, then you're going to recognize and realize what I'm talking about. And it is going to feel, like I said, like a sting. But I really want to drive home the point in the points that I'm going to be sharing with you here today, that this is hurting you in more ways than you even realize. This is keeping you from six figures. This is not necessarily um, a sales or marketing strategy type of issue, but it's an issue that affects those things. It's an issue that affects the bottom line. It's an issue that is stunting your growth. Okay, so stay with me as I cover the points that I'm going to be sharing with you today. I am going to share a couple of client success stories in terms of how they were able to turn things around once they addressed this issue themselves, and were able to get to their 10K month milestone. And I'm going to share with you how I can support you further today. Okay, so the first thing that I want to share with you is that, and then this really is a reminder, because you know this, your most precious commodity is time. Your most precious commodity is time, in business and in your personal life. Time is one of those things that you will never get back, right? Time is something that's once used, that's once it is used, once you have spent it, you can't get it back. Okay, it's your most precious commodity. And as an entrepreneur that is building a six-figure business, you must utilize your time focusing on the things that move the needle. Okay. And when you're at sub six figures per year, or you're not at 10K recurring, 8 to 10K per month recurring revenue, there are some key things that you should be focused on and nothing else. These things should dominate your time, and that is sales, marketing, and your client delivery and results. Sales to get more clients, marketing to do the things that will bring more people into your world, build that know, like, and trust factor and get them into the sales phase, and client delivery and results. Those are the three things that you should be focused on. Those three things, simply, right? Simply put, are the things that's going to get you to six figures. Those are the things moving your business forward. And as the CEO of your business, who should be on a sprint to get to that next level in your business, which is going to be the launch pad to bigger things. Because when you work out six figures or 10K months, after taxes, after expenses, it doesn't pay you as much as you'd like or think. Okay, we want you to be at minimum, in terms of what you're paying yourself, at minimum 10K months. But that's a talk for another day. But the things that you should be focused on are sales, right? Selling your programs. If you're not selling your programs are not filled, then that's what everybody, all hands on deck, should be focused on that. Okay? The marketing piece. The marketing is what's going to get you visible. It's going to bring in more leads. It's going to warm up those leads and prime them for your launches and your sales strategies or your sales processes. Okay? And when you focus on serving your clients, okay, when you focus on delivering an excellent service, making sure your clients feel well taken care of, make sure your clients are fully supported, making sure that they're getting transformation, you'll create clients that will always want to work with you. They'll be with you for the long haul. Okay, and they'll sign up repeatedly for your programs, and you will create clients who become ambassadors, sales ambassadors, if you will, because they will refer others to your programs. Okay, so you increase the lifetime value and you build up referral business when you focus on client delivery and results. Okay, so those are the three things: sales, marketing, and client delivery and results, that you should be focused on. The opportunity cost of focusing on anything else is very expensive. Okay? It means that you don't make sales, you don't expand you don't get visible, your clients are not feeling supported, they're not getting results, and you're going to find yourself struggling to get visible, to warm up to your people, to bring in more clients, or even to have your clients re-enroll to work with you. Okay, so you'll always negatively impact client enrollment when you're not focused on the things that move the needle. Right? Many times your focus, the things that you're doing that you're like, oh, I'll just get this done quickly and then I'll come back to the sales. I'll just get this thing done quickly and I'll come back to the marketing. I'll just get this done quickly and then I'll get to my clients. Okay. If you haven't noticed, which you probably haven't, like I said, that's why this is going to sting a little, because as I'm talking, I know this is resonating. I know this is hitting home, but the work is never going to stop. The admin stuff, checking emails, manning your calendar, um, getting your posts out there, writing your posts is one thing, which you really want to stay in creative mode. You really want to be plugged into your client experiences, your client issues, your community questions that you should be really listening to and paying attention to, which is going to fuel your content. Instead, you're caught up in posting the things, creating graphics, fixing up the website or the landing pages, getting into the emails marketing software to send out or schedule emails and all the things that you shouldn't be doing. Okay, so there's an opportunity cost, because the time that you spend on those things should be spent on sales, marketing, and your client delivery and experience, and it's not there. So you're actually affecting sales. You're actually affecting the very things that you should be focused on, and the very things that's going to bring in clients consistently, get you at 10K months consistently, and 6 figures in your business in a 12-month period. Okay, so that's the first thing. Realizing that the time that you spent not delegating and outsourcing and bringing on team members is costing you business, costing you sales, costing you clients, and a very active client pipeline where people are coming into your programs consistently. Okay. The second thing is that when you fail to delegate, outsource, or bring on team members, is that it impacts your cash flow, because you compromise pricing. Okay, you compromise how you price your programs, because you figure, I just have to cover these expenses, website expenses, software, etc., and I just pay myself a meager salary just until things get going. But the trap with that is that you start off with the lowest pricing in an order to keep things competitive, in an order to keep things lean. You sacrifice what you should be paying yourself. And then you struggle to, the price jump that you should be making in order to pay yourself handsomely, in order to pay the team members that you're going to bring in, or the team members that you're going to be outsourcing things to as contractors. The price jump that you should be make to be able to accommodate that spend seems so high, so out of whack, and because your mind is used to the smaller pricing, intuitively and in integrity, you struggle to say that, yeah, my program is 10K for 3 months. So my program is 7.5 for 3 months. That's what it is, because that's what in terms of the value that you're going to get, in terms of the expenses that need to be covered, what's being paid to me, what's being paid to my team, etc. That's the pricing that program needs to be at. And you're probably only charging 3K or 2K for 3 months right now. Okay, so you can't see where you can fit into your P&L a line item that will encompass, or that will need to be there to pay the team members or team member or to pay for the outsourcing that needs to be done to fully support you so that you can focus on the things in your business that move the needle. Okay, so because you're there, you're at this contracted, lean machine way of operating and doing things. You can't see your way towards fitting in a VA, and mindset wise, mentally, you can't see your way to upping the price. So it's actually good and better to start out with a team, right? So that you are thinking in the right way as relates to how you should be pricing. You already have, the line items, the budget and the percentage. If it's a certain percentage of sales that you're allotting to team member pay, right? You're already there at the outset, and you keep rates at a marketable, keep rates marketable and competitive, but also keep your rates at a level where you are able to pay for those things and you're able to pay yourself without sacrifice. Because remember, I don't need to say this, but I will anyway. We're not doing volunteer work, right? We're business owners, we're entrepreneurs first, entrepreneurs who run a coaching business, right? So we're doing the work through our coaching, but you're an entrepreneur first, you're a CEO first. And a CEO's responsibility is to keep the business in the black and to keep the business growing year over year. Make sure all expenses are paid, as well as the CEO and the other things that need to be paid as well. Because you don't just want a team either, right? I wasn't really planning to get really that deep into this, but you don't just want a team for a team's sake. You want a team that's going to grow with you. You want a team that's bought into and sold on the company's mission, that really cares about your clients. Okay. And so you want them to feel that they're also rewarded handsomely, that they have a stake in the company, so that they will show up 100% for supporting your clients as well. Okay. So let me see what else I had here in terms of that point. Okay. Yeah. So I covered that. And point number 3, when you fail to delegate, outsource, or bring on team members, it keeps you from learning new skills and sharpening the saw. It keeps you from learning new skills and sharpening the saw. Because one, you don't have the time, because you're, elbows deep into the admin stuff and the repetitive things and the social media posting and the email marketing sends, and the follow through that you should be doing. You're elbows deep in those things that you don't have time to learn new skills. And also, you don't have the time or money to invest in coaching and personal development, right? Because you're so caught up doing the little things, because you're running this lean ship, okay, that you don't have money to outsource, you don't have money to invest in personal development, and you just keep playing small. So you are always behind the trends, behind the curve, behind what's happening in the marketplace, because you haven't had the time, energy, or money to invest in learning what's happening and staying a cut above the rest. So when your counterparts that you're watching are bringing on new clients because they've added these things to their programs, or they're doing these other things that enhance the client experience, you are still strapped for what you can do to make yourself marketable as well. And really what it takes is developing your business, staying on top of what's working, what's new, going to industry conferences, investing in coaching programs or masterminds. You're not doing that. You don't have the time to do it. You don't have the energy. You don't have the money. And it waters down your client experience. So your clients in a quest to learn the new things are signing up with your counterparts instead. Or instead of re-enroll, they work with you, and instead of re-enrolling with you, they enroll with your counterparts who are staying on the cutting edge. Make sense? So I want to tell you a story about 2 clients who had to really embrace the fact that they needed to outsource if they were ever going to attain their goals of getting to 5-figure months in their businesses. Okay. So the first client, in her case, she actually did have a VA, although for a large part of the time that we were working together, that VA got really, really ill. And it was a source of, because she really felt close to that VA. So it really was a source of um, pain and angst for her, right? But we eventually got her somebody else that she could work with until things got sorted out with her VA. But that wasn't even the big thing in terms of what we had to have her delegate and outsource in order to get more efficient and be able to attain her 10K months. There were things in her client experience that while she was very committed and loved her clients and loved her work and wanted to, do her best for them, she had to some of the things that she was doing for her clients could have been outsourced. And you're probably there as well, where I know for me, one of the things that I do for my clients, in addition to the coaching and teaching and the training items that I have on the back end, part of it would be, say, uploading client recordings from our calls and kind of summarizing or bullet pointing what we learned, what we covered together, right? And so she had things like that. So, things like that I would outsource to a VA to help me to do, because yeah, that is not necessarily something that I have to do, right? And that's just one example. So some of the things that she was doing to fulfill client delivery, deliverable items, we worked through them and saw how much time she was spending on those things that really, she could kind of oversee and delegate from a distance that would free her up to do the other things that would help her to bring in more clients, support more clients, because you'll be able to serve so many more people if some of the things that you're doing to support them are handed off, right? So once we got a handle on that, she was able to bring in her first 10K months in her business, right? I had another client who, with her, the way that she brought clients on, it had a lot of follow up and follow through to get people confirmed. Okay. It's a situation where they'll say yes and they don't necessarily come on board. It wasn't coaching, it was more like she offered a service based deliverable for her clients. Not all, there was some coaching involved too, but a lot of it was service based. And so she could have somebody say yes, but because the person isn't quite ready for that next phase in terms of the service, they don't necessarily start or pay or come on board, even though they've verbally given their consent that yes, they want to do this. It takes some time and some steps and some follow up and follow through to get them to actually, commit by paying the invoice and, doing some onboarding stuff. So she was doing a lot of that runaround that, she had gotten the sale and it pretty much was a done deal. But the admin part of getting the person to fully commit, she did a lot of follow up on her own to make that happen. So, and there were some things even before the client saying yes too, that were repetitive follow ups that could be templated, systematized, and delegated. So that's what we worked on, improved efficiencies for her there. We also had to raise her prices, and she was able to achieve her 10K month in her business. Okay. So I want for you to think about these three things, and I'll just repeat them briefly. The one thing, coming back to the one thing that is getting in the way of many coaches who should be at 6 figures already, is a failure to delegate, outsource, and bring on team members. And the three things that, in terms of how it's costing you by not doing this, the first one is devaluing your time by spending time on the things that you shouldn't be, right? If you're sub 6 figures per year in your business, you should be focused on sales, marketing, and client delivery and satisfaction and results. Okay. That's where you should be focusing your efforts. If you're not, because you're doing those other things, you need to look very closely at how you can get on track to um, delegating some of those repetitive tasks and things that you really shouldn't be focused on in your business. And again, you know what they are, right? I went through some examples, but you know, like I said, if you're watching this, you're at 30 to 50K per year right now. You know what I mean. You know where I'm coming from. You know where this is affecting you. Okay. The second thing is it will impact cash flow, because if you don't factor in, right, and really work this in, you should be working in your salary, what you want to be paying yourself, as a line item on your P&L or your profits, your expenses statement breakdown. And you should be factoring in a line item or a percentage or amount, a monthly amount that is going to admin or tech VA work, or any other thing technical related, or something else that's not in your wheelhouse or your area of expertise that you do need to be outsourcing or getting a contractor to do for you. Okay. So if you don't do that, you're going to find yourself underpricing. And if things are underpriced, yeah, it's going to look expensive to bring on a VA or contractors to support you. And whenever it's time to get serious and, put pricing or rates for your coaching programs so that you can accommodate these line items, these expenses, it's going to kind of take you out of a comfort zone, or a feeling where you're saying, okay, I can comfortably charge 3K for my 3-month program. I don't know if I could charge 5K. I don't know if I could charge 7.5K, right? It's going to feel out of um, integrity for you to increase prices if you're starting out so low by discounting yourself and your time, and not allowing space in your expenses breakdown for a VA to be a mainstay, or VA or contractors to be a mainstay part of your team. Okay. And the third thing is that when you fail to delegate, outsource, or bring on team members, you're going to not have time. You're not going to have the money to learn new skills and sharpen the saw. And this will keep you behind. This will stunt your growth. This will compromise what you offer and what you bring to the table versus your counterparts who are investing in themselves. They are spending time to learn new skills because they're not, bogged down by the details and the admin stuff. Okay. They're learning new tricks. They're ahead of the learning curve in terms of, the innovations that are happening in your area of expertise, right? They're there ahead of you, and your clients wanting something new, wanting to stay current, wanting to, ride with the trends, or be able to take advantage of the innovations. They're going to those programs instead of yours. So you do need to spend time learning, innovating, learning new skills, and staying on top of the trends by attending conferences, signing up for coaching programs. But if you're in the weeds doing all the things, you're not going to be able to do that. All right. So it really, in terms of getting started, it really starts with looking at where you're spending your time, where you're losing time, where you are spending time on the things that are not related to the core items that you should be focused on, the sales, marketing, and client delivery. Okay. The things outside of that. How can you create systems around those things? And how can you bring someone on board, part-time or project-based, but more frequently, to get those things off your plate? Because you're losing time. And as I started this off with saying that time is expensive, right? Your time is highly valuable. It's the most expensive commodity, and you don't get it back. How much time have you been where you are right now, between 30 to 50,000 per year, each year, and not growing? And any business that's not growing is shrinking, because you should, as a CEO, you should be keeping the business in the black, right? Keeping your business profitable and growing the business. growing by either increasing prices, increasing your programs, innovating and bringing new things in your programs and making it that much better, and bringing a better service to market, and bringing more clients into that service, and being able to leverage your time, working one-to-many, and be able to scale from there. Right? So look at what you're doing and see what you, based on what you're doing, where you're spending your time, what needs to be either eliminated or what needs to most likely needs to be outsourced. Okay. And then endeavor to bring somebody on board that can support you to do that. All right. Now, I want to invite you, as I mentioned before, I support my clients to achieve that 8K to 10K months milestone, get to that milestone in your business. And then I take you to show you how to create a marketing plan that will allow you to do that consistently so that you achieve the 6-figure year mark in your business. And that's what we're talking about in this live stream. So I am opening up my calendar to share with you a 10K map in terms of looking at what you're doing right now, looking at your marketing, looking at how you're showing up, looking at your pricing, pretty much auditing what you have in place as relates to sales, marketing, as well as how you're serving your clients and what that price point looks like. Okay. And so this is for if you're not at 10K months in your business. And then I'll share with you what it will take to achieve your 10K milestone. Okay, what you need to do in terms of visibility, in terms of marketing, in terms of sales to be at 10K months in your business. I'll give you lay out kind of a roadmap for you so that you know what you should be focused on to achieve this. Make sense? So comment below with the word 10K if you'd like to be considered for this, and I will send you a private message with next steps. So this is for you if you are at, let me put 10K in the comments. This is for you if you are at 30K to 50K years in your business, and you're looking to get to 8K to 10K months in your business. All right. This will be very useful for you if you are bringing on clients, but either not enough clients to be able to be at your 10K months, or you are not able to enroll clients consistently. Okay. You're feel like you're doing the marketing, you're showing up, you are bringing in some leads, but you're not, on paper, you should be at 6 figures, as I mentioned in this live stream, but somehow you're not there yet. I will support you to spot or to identify the blind spots and to map out your path, your trajectory, if you want to call in 10K months in your business so that you can get on track to 6-figure years. All right. So comment below with the word 10K, and I will reach out to you privately here on Facebook, and we'll set up some time to talk. This is the time to get on track now. We are at August, right? So, and we're just at the end of August, really, in this year. So you have September, October, November, December, 4 months left to go. And it's possible for you to turn things around before this year is through and really be able to collapse the timelines and call in your 10K months before this year is through. And once you know how to achieve it once, which is what I do with my clients, we get to that, we start off with that, what it takes to get to 10K months. And then we create the marketing plan that will get you to 6 figures years, being able to call in 10K months consistently and be at 6 figures or 100K plus. Okay. So now is the time to zone in, hunker down, focus in on what you're going to do. You cannot get to the eve of Thanksgiving and say, all right, let me just do a Black Friday sale, and that's going to bring in 6 figures. Or, wait until December hits, which, you really have about 2 weeks before people get into holiday mode. You can't wait until the eve, on November 30th And then you're like, all right, what am I going to do for the first 2 weeks in December? It's too late. Your momentum in this last quarter really should have started last month. The next best time is to start today. So if you've been plugging along so far, and here we are at August, and you still haven't been able to bring in that 8K to 10K month in your business, you need somebody to shine the spotlight on those blind spots, on those bottlenecks, on what's been holding you back. You're so close to it that you can't see it for yourself. What I mentioned today may be one of the reasons, one of the things holding you back. So maybe one of the things that I'll tell you to do is, identify that thing that you could outsource right now by the end of this week, get it off your plate, and only be spending, I don't know what the price point could look like, but it may take a VA, if it's taking you long, and it may take a VA a couple of hours to do. So whatever is the rate for the 2 hours, it may be that you just need to bring in somebody for 2 hours a week. Okay, that's possible. And then that will free you up to do the sales and marketing and client delivery strategies that will allow you to bring on new clients as well as re-enroll current clients who are ready for that next stage or that next phase of working with you, or wants to work with you deeper, wants more hand holding, and is ready to jump in one-on-one coaching or ready to jump in your mastermind. All right. This is the time to get serious. This is the time to hunker down in order to finish 2025 strong. I believe in you. I know that you can do it. I know that you have the things in place. I know that you're working hard. I know that you're showing up. Many of you, I am already following you online. I'm already in your Facebook group. I'm already following you on Instagram. So I see you showing up. I see you doing some things, but you're not quite hitting the mark. More of the same is going to equal more of the same. Get on a call with me. Let's get to the root of what's holding you back so that you know exactly what to do. And again, as it relates to time, like I said, it's a precious commodity. And if you're still testing things out 9 months into the year, okay, and still not hitting the mark, you need some outside support. Okay, so take that step forward for yourself, for your business. Let's have your 10K roadmap call, okay, and so that you can get on track with what you need to bring in 10K months, which, like I said, could very well happen before this year is through. I believe in you. Do you believe in you? If so, let's get you the help that you need so that you can take right steps, right? Economize on the time that you're showing up and spending on your business, and let's get you to that next milestone. All right. So I am going to wrap this up. Comment below with the word 10K if you'd like to set up your 10K roadmap session with me. I have a few spots open this week. I have a couple already on the calendar, and I'd love to be able to support you as well. All right. So comment below 10K. We'll have a talk in the private messenger, and then we'll set up some time for us to have our call. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, lovelies, on this edition of Let's Talk Business Growth Live. Let's get you to 10K months. Let's get you on track, mapping out your 6-figure plan. And I'm sure that we can do this together. This is what I do. This is what I love. I've helped many others. I know I can help you as well. All right. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you soon.